Welcome on in. Glad to have you. Jackie, hi. Welcome, both of you. Just adjusting the screen a little so I can actually read. There we go. I think that's good. Okay, so it's going actually really well. Thank you very much for asking it yourself. Hopefully chat isn't too much in front of the actual cooking. Should be good. Oh yeah, it's fading out, it's fine. Okay, so this here that we're making today is just a simple dish that my family and I very much enjoy. It's very simple, perfect for midweek meals, and it doesn't take up all that much ingredients compared to what you already have at home. So the actual ingredients for this is just pasta, which you can buy. Most people already have at home. A bit of bacon. This is 250 grams. This you might have to go buy. Heavy creams and mushroom. Everything else you probably already have at home, like salt, pepper, spices, olive oil, garlic you can go buy as well, but it's simple things really. So to get started, we are going to get these changed up because I need to cut this up. So these will be moved out of frame for now. And we are going to just dice up our bacon. I recommend scissors unless you have a sharp knife like I do. Now, I'm using a big chunk because I think it's better value, but you can very well just use the pre-sliced bits at the supermarket. It doesn't make too much of a difference. I just prefer it like this because, again, value. So what I'm going to do first is make my life easier. Cut that in half, and then just cut into the fat slightly so you can pull it off. Now, don't get rid of this. We will enjoy having this later. You can put this into the sauce pot as well. I prefer putting it into the pasta water. That's still empty. Trim out the skin because this is not very pleasant to eat. Again, if you don't want this hassle, you can buy the pre-cubed stuff. Doesn't have to be too perfect either. I'm just going to leave that bit on. Fair enough. Like, I'm not going to get that off with a knife on camera because it's just too much work. So, now, what I like to do is slice this in half, lengthways. And now, in quarters. It makes the pieces smaller and easier to eat. Again, this needs to be a little bit firm for a sharp knife. Otherwise, you might end up hurting yourself, and we don't want that. That's splitting. Not good. Let's see if I can get it. This instead. as well. Also, these things on the bacon, best to leave them out because they're kind of hard. This one I'm only going to cut in three pieces because it's thinner by default. Oh. So as you can see, we have a few bits of bacon now, and we're going to just slice them up. You can restack them, make your own life even easier. See how nice that cuts? Nice and fatty meat. This is mostly just fat. You see all the white? That's good, that's what we're looking for because it's flavor. That way, I can avoid using cooking fat later on. The olive oil is here for backup. You get these nice pieces of bacon that will later crisp up and give the dish a nice bacony flavor. Remember, you want to leave the cartilage out. It's not very pleasant, so this bit does not go in. Hi, welcome on in. I see some people from the Nikkei community have decided to join us. Feel right at home. Enjoy your stay. Okay. Let's trim that a little bit. That one's not savable. This one either. Throw those into stock or something, but I don't have a habit of doing stock. Now, garlic. This one is not going in just yet, so get them sliced thinly. Give them a little chop. Doesn't have to be anything super fine. Where's the butter? There is no butter. We're using the bacon fat. Don't use the blade of the knife to scrape things. I've said this multiple times. You can add butter if you want to, or if you're using something like ham, which has less fat than bacon. But I have some delicious patty cuts, so I don't need butter. Rinse my hands. Alright, now, because I'm using canned mushrooms, I am not going to waste their water. This is a trick for when you're cooking bacon. Cold pan, you add water, and then you let them cook. However, I already have water from these mushrooms here, so I'm just going to take advantage of that and use this water. This is to help the fats render out even better. And you're also making use of the mushroom paste. You're also going to use the mushrooms later, so you have to drain it anyway. Now you want to give it a stir. Cover that up. Now, for the water bit, obviously the water has to be boiling, but putting water in the pan on the hob all the way from room temperature to boiling is more wasteful than just using a kettle. So use a kettle, pop it up, get it going, and then you throw it into the pot. In the meantime, you can add water to the pasta pots. So just a healthy pinch of sea salt. If you want to measure that out, that's a tablespoon. This is a very easy recipe. Some of the items we have here will not be used. They're just here for reference, like olive oil and the stock cube, which is not in sight. Just use feeling exactly. This takes a little bit to heat up because it's a cast iron skillet. So now we just wait. I can clean the knife while I'm at it, since I'm not going to use it further. Remember, cold water. You can also clean the board. Yeah, that's what that's for. But that's going to take a little bit still, because this pot has to be done before the pasta. It's clean, the board is clean. Okay, that's starting to boil, so let's move you guys over. This is a bit tricky. Live feed just died. Okay, there we go. Now, I like this pot very much because it allows me to toss a lot easier. Let's move the microphone closer as well. Hopefully this one doesn't disconnect as well. There we go, chat. It's boiling away, so I can remove the lid. This is almost done boiling. This is now on. Waiting for the last few seconds for the water to boil. There we go. So you can need a little bit more water. If you really wanted to, you could probably make this in just a single pot. I've never tried it, but it does sound possible and very easy to make. Lid on that, so it boils. Usually we leave the water here actually, but for the sake of camera action, I swap them around. That sound. Let's see. The water is almost gone. Now is the time for the bacon to do its magic on itself and start gaining some color. If you have no tossing skills, the spoon will do fine. You can use whatever you want, and this is all non-stick because it's cast iron, but you can also use metal if you want. It's going to make a lot of noise, but this is a good skill to have, so get to work on it. And you can see good if we can catch one. There we go. We can start to see some browning, which, as some of you may know, is the Maillard reaction, and it happens at 153 degrees. Okay, then. If that water is going, that. This was supposed to have boils, but I didn't like that. And reboil. Now the bacon is starting to sear, getting some color, and it's going to spit at you, so be careful. At this point, I like to add in the mushrooms because they still have some moisture. They do need time to get color. And if you don't do that, don't stick your hand in an open can. That's really dangerous. That was an accounted for, but I will pretend it wasn't. Nice smell. Totally planned. Now, you may have noticed I haven't added any seasoning to this whatsoever until now. And the reason is that I prefer to season more towards the end. So, I will be adding heavy cream into this afterwards. You also have the option of just using milk. These are lactose-free heavy cream. And I get 400 milliliters total. Well, cook along then. On this one, I did not publish what the ingredients were ahead of time, so you have an excuse. But for all of the previous ones, you had none. Because I was making it as I went. I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit. Now, you can use heavy cream. If you have no heavy cream, can't find it, whatever reason, you can use milk and either reduce it down or use a little bit less milk and a thickening agent like cornstarch or potato starch. For me, this is what it looks like. This is cornstarch right here, and it's really nice for thickening up sauces. Make no mistake, I am still in pajamas. This is literally just the meal that you cook when you're feeling lazy. It's very easy to put together, nothing out of the ordinary. The water is struggling a little bit to come back up. My fault. So we're going to allow this to brown a little bit further and lower the heat down to minimum while I prepare the cartons of the heavy creams. Get yourself a scissor, pair of scissors. Out of the top. don't separate it, it's easier to throw out afterwards. Just bend it to the side. And if you're careful enough, you get a clean scissors. This looks amazing. It is very easy to do, and it is very tasty. Now, water boiling it. Starting to. Let's leave it like that for a little bit longer. I need to tighten up the screw on the handle of the lid again. I might have to kill the heat here. I'm going to do exactly that and add creams in. Don't forget to open the bottom and squeeze out everything. Get those drops out. This is valuable. Hive time is more expensive than milk, for fuck's sake. Now I can no longer toss it, so now we stir. Yeah, at this point, if you want to just leave it be, boil a little bit, you can add salt and call it a day. It's as seasoned as it needs to be. Personally, I like to take it a little bit further. I am going to allow the flavors of the bacon, the mushrooms, and the heavy creams to get to know one another, make some babies. Take the lid off there. Now grab the pasta. This is not rocket science. Just open it up. Enjoy it. You can use almost any type of pasta you want as long as it's like reasonably small. If you want some bow ties, you can. Some spirals are fine as well. Don't forget to stir the pasta, otherwise it'll stick together. And at this point, you want to keep track of time for roughly the next 10 minutes. So that's how quick this is. As for this, there is still some residual heat. Okay, what I like to do now to this sauce that I've been doing lately is I grab this and I throw 1 tablespoon flat, as in an actual measuring tablespoon flat of this, and some parsley, and that's it. I add no pepper, no salt, it needs nothing else. If you want to not use pre-made gravy granules, you can use something else. Gravy, for those who do not know, is essentially a bechamel. Okay, so bechamel is butter, flour, and milk. A gravy is butter, flour, and stock. If you want to make stock out of a cube and use that into the sauce as well, you can if you want to. I prefer to use this because it's a lot more convenient. Needless to say, however, you can make your own blend of spices as well, and it'll end up just as good. So, I'm going to turn this on minimum, on low rather. Give that another stir. because I'm home alone, I am going to add pepper, like a lot of it. Stop when your forearm hurt. Okay. That's good enough. I like to add some herbs. I don't really have much else other than parsley at the moment. I do have bay leaf, but you have to remove that. That's not very convenient. Am I kidding? The other end. Give that a stir. It's nice and bubbly. It's going to thicken up with the heat. Don't let the pasta stick to itself, otherwise it's going to become a goopy mess. And you're not going to have a fun time. Now, since I can, I'm going to throw in some cayenne. And this is strong stuff, so I'm only throwing in a little bit. This is a quarter of a teaspoon. Make sure you make it flat. I might throw in another one, which exactly that. So, half a teaspoon of cayenne, and hopefully this doesn't burn my mouth off. This one is very, very strong. Wipe your spoons clean. Stirring it in. You can add just regular hot sauce if you want, some sriracha. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, I'm sorry guys. You can see it's gotten a little bit darker now with the cayenne. It's smelling really good. Checking time, still a few minutes to go. This garlic we chopped up earlier is going in at the very end, before you ask. And since I'm not using the pre-made gravy, you gotta season this. Good pinch of salt. And stir it all in. Have like garlic powder, onion powder, all those things, you can throw them in too. This is a home recipe. There's no correct way to do this. You just do what you enjoy. Get yourself a spoon. Let's check for salt. You want just a little bit. You want to taste the sauce, don't burn your face off. Ooh, that's good. That's high strung. Could be a little bit spicier though. It builds up. It's really nice. be a little bit much. Alas, it is what it is. We don't tolerate weakness in this household. Going to allow this to boil because I want it to reduce down so I can add in some pasta water. Much better now. It's still boiling for another 2 more minutes. In the meantime, we check on the pasta itself. I just want to check for doneness, not eat the whole pot. Almost. Almost, very much almost. Careful, you don't burn your own sauce. Let's lower that down again. Good stir. Look at that beautiful sauce. Thickening up also nice. We're getting some richer colors too. I was going to say throw in some paprika, but I have none. Oh wait, I still have some. That delicious smokiness from smoked paprika. Okay, the pasta should be done now, which means I'll have to move the camera back and finish up. Yep, done. This also goes off. Need to adjust things now. So, move this over here for the time being. I'm going to move the microphone. I'm going to move the camera again as well. So, okay, that should be good. There will be a sudden burst of steam. I'm sorry for that. Okay, pasta water. Adding in at least 1. Check for consistency. That's good enough for me. It's not yet thick enough. And fire it up once more and let it go. those out. They're not very much edible. And now, I bring back the scraper because this is what I needed it for. Or spatula, for the term. This is why I love cast iron kitchenware. Throw that in. Make sure you get every corner twice. Now I get myself a plate. I like to use soup plates for this because it's a bit easier. Bit more green. There you have it, folks. A midweek meal that's very easy to put together and very cheap as well. And I did that in 50 minutes with no rush whatsoever, while taking the time to talk you through it and not having anything prepared ahead of time. So you could shave off like 20 minutes off of that. You can make this in 20-30 minutes maximum, so perfect for midweek meal. And because I am a woman of my word, fuck yeah, it's banging. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming and watching. Hope you guys try and make it yourselves at home too. And if you do and have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will try and answer it to the best of my ability. I will see you guys another time. Thank you very much, and I will see you around. Mwah.